Some shows talk about one team. Other shows barely talk sports. This show will talk Packers, Brewers, and Bucks every day. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily with Steve Sparky Fifer, served up by Wendy's on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network. Download the Wendy's app today.
Four o'clock hour is here. Welcome in as we broadcast live from Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Coming up tomorrow, Football Friday, 2:40, Ryan Wood, the Green Bay Press-Gazette, Packers beat writer. 3:20, we will talk some Badger basketball. We have not talked Badger basketball yet to this point. Ben Wergel, who covers the Badgers for SI, he'll join us at 3:20 tomorrow. Looking forward to talking to him. Mike Kay, who is a Panther beat writer for the Charlotte Observer, joins us at 4 o'clock during this segment, Green and Gold Update. Fantasy Football Friday with our guy, Mr. Bartell from RotoWire Fantasy Sports. That's at 4:20. And then Follow the Money with Austin Herdania. What suit will he be wearing this week for us to look at on YouTube and on X as we stream our shows?
Maybe he'll be on fire again. That was awesome.
Maybe he'll be on fire again like he was last week from the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Yeah, so we'll do that to end it at 4:40. So a fun show coming up tomorrow. Of course, we start every Friday show with Confident, Concerned, and Curious in that first segment. So I want to get into Dan Orlovsky, but before we do that, we gotta do this.
It's time for your Green and Gold Update on Wisconsin Sports Daily, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network with Steve Sparky Fifer.
All right, so Green and Gold Update. Normally, we would play maybe some clips from a presser or something a player says. Jeff Hafley is supposed to be talking here in a little bit. Love hearing from Jeff Hafley, Packers defensive coordinator. He's my favorite person to listen to. But today, we're not going to do that because Dan Orlovsky betrayed Packer fans today. I feel pretty confident in saying that because up until this point, I'm pretty sure there are people that you think are Packer stans, right? Guys and girls in the media that are always having the Packer backs. So Mina Kimes, who you heard on Charlie Sounds today, she's always got the Packers back. Kay Adams on Up and Adams, she always has the Packers back whenever she's talking about the Packers as well. And Dan Orlovsky is another guy that seemingly always has the Packers back and Jordan Love's back. Because remember, Orlovsky loved Jordan Love coming out of the draft. He was like the only guy defending the pick and saying this kid's going to be something. You just wait and see. And he did not get off of that. Even the first half of that year when he struggled as a starter, Orlovsky's like, nope, he's going to be good. This isn't just on him. There's other things going on here. And then Orlovsky got proven right. So with all that being said, here's Dan Orlovsky on ESPN's first day, talking about his top five quarterbacks in the NFL.
Baker Mayfield could be the most clutch quarterback in the NFL this year so far. Right now, Matthew Stafford leads the NFL in explosive pass plays. He's averaging about a pass play of explosive element, 1 a quarter. Number 3, a little bit of a toss-up here, Daniel Jones. You know what quarterback's playing the best under pressure right now in the NFL? Daniel Jones. That's been his kryptonite. Number 2, the guy that would be the leader of the MVP candidate for me right now, Drake May. Wow. Drake May right now leads the NFL in accuracy when it comes to completion percentage at 75. The guy that did that was a person named Drew Brees, my number 1 quarterback, or number 2 quarterback, number 1 MVP. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Number 1, right now, he leads the NFL in total yards at almost 2,300.
Did I miss him saying Jordan Love?
No, I don't think so, Sparky. I'm pretty sure he didn't say it.
Okay. So this is something that last year I was accepting of. Last year I was accepting of him not being in these conversations because they ran the ball a ton, right? And maybe he wasn't throwing it as much as some of these other quarterbacks that were winging it all over the field. So maybe that's why you didn't see Jordan Love in these conversations. But when your football team is averaging over 30 points a game outside of the one loss, so in wins and ties, you're averaging over 30 points a game, and you're going to tell me that he ain't a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? It ain't like Josh Jacobs is tearing down the house running the football. Their head coach was just out here talking about how they got to figure that out. And it's on the offensive lineman. This ain't on Josh Jacobs now. Guys just aren't doing their job. Charlie had the stat yesterday. This team is significantly better running the football when Aaron Banks' big butt is sitting on the bench than they are when his butt is out there run blocking right now.
4% more successful. They go from 73 to 77% success rate on the runs.
So again, they're not winning because of that. They're winning because of the quarterback getting the ball to guys when they need to. That's why they're winning. He ain't throwing picks every week. He's one of the league leaders as far as fewest picks thrown, I believe. So he's doing his job from that perspective. He's taking a step in running with the football upfield when there's green grass in front of him. That's something Jordan Love didn't do his first 2 years. To me, Jordan Love is better for sure than he was last year. That's not debatable. Is he at the immortal level like he was in the second half of his first year? Maybe not to that level yet, but he's really good right now. And it's not, this offense ain't going and doing what they're doing because of anybody else other than Jordan Love. You can't even say Tucker Kraft because they haven't been getting Tucker Kraft the ball consistently up until these last 2 weeks, right? This hasn't been Tucker Kraft for all of these games to this point. So you can't even say it's Tucker Kraft doing all of this. You can't say it's Romeo Doubs. He hasn't led him in receptions. You had Josh Jacobs leading him in receptions at points this year, for God's sakes. So you can't point to any of the receivers. You can't point to the tight end. You can't point to the running back. Offensive line's been fine, but nobody talks about the offensive line.
People love to criticize Matt LaFleur still, even though they're winning, so it's not Matt
They're
LaFleur.
averaging over 30 points a game. He doesn't know how to call plays. Somebody else should call plays. Oh, shut up. Shut up. What are you talking about? They're scoring a ton of points, man. A ton. So the question is simple. It's not that hard. Why do you think people still aren't buying Jordan Love? Now, this is a national dude that has supported Love the entire time in Dan Orlovsky, and yet he's still not in this conversation. With all due respect to Pat Mahomes, Jordan Love has played every bit as good as Patrick Mahomes, if not better than Patrick Mahomes at this point. I think you could have a legitimate conversation that he should be in front of Patrick Mahomes on this list as we currently sit.
I don't know about that. I think Patrick Mahomes has had a huge bounce back season this year, and I would argue that prior to these past 2 weeks when they got Rashee Rice back,
Rashee Rice changed that
his
offense.
Receiving options were nowhere near what the Packers have had this
Agreed.
season.
That's
so
fair.
far.
You're right.
So I think, honestly, because of that, I'd give Patrick Mahomes the bump there. But Matthew Stafford, Matthew Stafford has had everybody on his offense be able to help him out.
Stafford has Puka Nacua. You got Devontae Adams.
Tyler Higbee has been really reliable for
Yep.
him. They have a good run game there. Their defense is phenomenal. They have Sean McVay coaching that team. A lot of these guys that he put on this list ahead of him, I think there's very strong reason for why they are doing what they're doing outside of maybe a Patrick Mahomes. Outside of that, Jordan Love's the only other quarterback that I can think that's in that top 6 to 7 range that has that Patrick Mahomes type of situation where it feels like it truly is him making things happen out there and not everybody else around them.
I think the other part of this, maybe to a degree, is because this division maybe didn't turn out being the way that everybody thought it was going to be. That might be part of it too. Now, the Vikings obviously haven't been all of that in a bag of chips to this point. The Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams, who the Packers still haven't seen yet, that hasn't turned out so great. In fact, there was just a story. Where did I see that today? Was that on SI? I think SI maybe has a story on Caleb Williams, the good and the bad, and whatever is going on there in Chicago with Ben Johnson as head coach and play caller. So that hasn't been to the level that everybody thought, even though they strung together, 3 or 4 games in a row win-wise. That offense hasn't clicked the way everybody was waiting for it to click. The Detroit Lions have had really good weeks, and then they've had a couple of weeks you're like, hot damn, what is this? What are we looking at here? So they haven't been necessarily that team. I think at the beginning of the year, I think people were saying, hey, man, maybe they get 3 teams in the playoffs again out of the NFC North. Some people were saying it might be the toughest division in football because everybody expected a jump from the Bears. And realistically, there's 2 teams that are going to be in the playoffs from this division. It's going to be the Packers. It's going to be the Lions. And that's going to be about it. And it's no longer can be considered, in my opinion, the toughest division in football by any stretch of the imagination.
Not when the NFC West plays as well as they are, not when the AFC West is playing as well as they are. Both those conferences have 3 teams that are competitive. And you can argue even to some degree that the Cardinals are more competitive than what their record says right now too, because they play hard. They just can't figure out how to close out games right there. So all those conferences, I think, have a better case right now. I mean, I wouldn't completely count the Bears out at this point. I don't have a lot of faith that they're going to be a playoff team, but there's been moments this season where you do see that coaching staff and the players on the field click. And by the end of the year, you can probably see that happen a little bit more consistently. So they could have a shot there. This can still be a really tough conference. Just again, when you compare it to what we expected prior to the season, I think for some that kind of knocks down what they expect or what they're seeing from Jordan Love right now, which isn't really fair to him. He's playing out of his mind. Give him the respect just because the Lions looked worse at the beginning of the season than we thought, just because the Bears offense hasn't clicked, which is completely unfair. It's been half a season so far. Give them a little bit more time. And just because the Vikings haven't figured it out again, even though their starting quarterback's been hurt.
They haven't had their quarterback either. And the Vikings situation has really been a complete disaster considering Daniel Jones was in that quarterback room. He's having wildly crazy success.
Which makes me think he probably could have played pretty well for the Vikings too. Maybe they should have kept him around.
Because O'Connell's a good offensive play caller. And then Sam Darnold, who they didn't want to pay, he's playing for the Seattle Seahawks now.
And they've gotten hot recently too.
He doesn't suck either. So and instead, you go with Carson Wentz, and then you have J.J. McCarthy over there. And now it sounds like maybe J.J. McCarthy is getting closer to coming back. But all of the rate of the world and pressure is on J.J. McCarthy now to come in there and play at a high level, because I would assume those Viking fans are still thinking they can make the playoffs.
Probably. But the only real win you have is against a team, the Chicago Bears, that obviously had no clue who they were in that game in the first week of the season. And I think that's something that you really have to look at here. If you're a Vikings fan, yeah, you can rely on a J.J. McCarthy to come back here and hopefully just figure it out once again. But the game after that, he didn't look very good. The game after that, he didn't look very good. I think there's things to be worried about that the Packers can be pretty confident in this division. But again, when you have a good play caller, when you have a really good defensive coordinator with a really strong and veteran-led defense, I think those things can still keep them competitive. You don't want to count them out yet.
You know, that's the other part about this too, as far as counting people out. It's midway through the season. I mean, how many teams can you really count out? As you pointed out earlier today, the parity of the league is crazy, right? So
Raiders,
you just don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, there's less than 5 teams probably midway through that you can go, okay, they're done. They're not going to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They're done. They're not going to the playoffs. But even teams that aren't all that great, there's hope and promise. Like Jackson Dart with the New York Giants, there's hope and promise that maybe he is the quarterback of the future for the New York Giants after they've been searching and searching and searching.
The Panthers have promise, the team that the Packers are playing. They've won games this season where they looked better than you're such a hater, man. Give them some love.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not giving them love. Not giving the Steelers love. No, man, these teams aren't that good, man. I'm sorry. Again, could they win? Could the Panthers win 6 or 7 games? Sure, they could win 6 or 7 games. Is that better than winning 2 or 3? Absolutely. Does that make them have promise or
fan,
good?
Yes, it is.
Oh, no. Come on, man. I mean, I know. So there's just not a lot of good teams. Atlanta, the Falcons, I mean, that's another team where you look at them and go, okay, when is all of this actually going to work? They've had like 1, maybe 2 games where Penix and that offense really clicked. And then the other ones, they're losing games. They have no business losing based on all the talent they have on that football team.
Yeah, people talk about Jonathan Taylor being in MVP discussions. Too bad the Falcons suck outside of Bijan Robinson, because he's been phenomenal and been really the main reason they're competitive right now.
And nobody talks about them because they don't win.
Because they're awful.
They're absolutely awful. No question about that. See Sparky Fifer here, Charlie Usen over there. Let me tell you about my fine folks over there at Potawatomi. They're giving away over $300,000 in prizes. It's autumn action. Yeah, that's right. You heard me right. Over $300,000 in prizes, courtesy of our friends over at the Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Autumn action runs November 1st through the 20th, and you can earn entries playing with your rewards card. Prize drawings happen on Thursdays between 5 and 8 p.m. If you win, you get to pick your prize from the prize board. All leftover prizes go into a rollover jackpot drawing. For more info, go online at Potawatomi.com. Must be 21 years of age or older and a reward members to play. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. This Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Sparky here, Charlie using other side of the glass. This morning, Brian Gutekunst was on Packers GM with Inside Wisconsin Sports with Trevor Thomas and Josh Albrecht. You'll hear that coming up from 5 to 6 in the Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up Show with Tommy Wirtz. So make sure to stay tuned in for that one. Josh Albrecht, apparently, I didn't hear this, but he told me he did it. Apparently, he's been running his mouth that I'm going to be in costume of some sort tomorrow. You were trying to get me to be Papa Smurf.
Yeah.
I talked to Kay last night about said idea.
Okay.
And she said, I am not putting blue face paint on you to wear all day long. Like, your skin will be
I'll do it for you.
All irritated.
It'll
if you
be
put
fine.
that thing on it, like, because she leaves for work at, 6:15 in the morning. She's like, if you're wearing that thing from 6:15 in the morning until you get home at 6:15, 6:30, she's like, your face is, and we're not going home. We're going straight to trick-or-treating from here for 2 hours with the kids.
Have the 3-year-old put it on for you.
Oh, yeah.
She'll love it,
No.
and you'll be able to get covered in paint.
No. So I told Josh, I said, okay, well, look, because Josh said you guys wanted him to be Papa Smurf or something. Is that the thing?
I didn't hear that. Yeah, I don't know.
So this is my thing, because we have like no time necessarily to kind of pull this up. I think next year on the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, we should just all pick Smurfs we want to be. We should all be
okay,
blue.
but
like
outside of
Blue Man
Papa
group,
Smurf
we
and
go.
outside of like the girl Smurf, aren't they all the same?
Yeah, so what?
Oh, I thought you want to be a little different.
No, kind of like the Blue Man group. So everybody
fair
paints their face blue, whatever else. So tomorrow I will be in costume. I'm not going to be Papa Smurf, but I have a
Is it going
costume.
to be a surprise, or are you going to let us know?
I told Josh what it was off the air. I didn't say anything. I can tell you what I'm going to be.
All right.
I'll be a Care Bear tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm going to be a Care Bear.
Is it like a big puffy costume, or is it just
Yeah,
like
it's like almost like a onesie. You like step in, zip it all the way up. It's got the thing that goes over the top.
I think it should be
Roll
like
deal.
a puffier one, but that's all right.
I don't think they make puffier ones.
I bet they got those blow up costumes, the ones that they have like the fans for. I bet they got a Care Bear one of those.
Oh, maybe. But then I'm talking about trying to fit in between the wall and the
All right,
microphone.
I'll get a bag of like, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It'll be
we'll
fine, he
figure it out.
says. Charlie's very confident in this. What are you dressing up as tomorrow?
I don't you don't know TV shows, so I don't know if but the Righteous Gemstones. It's a show with Danny McBride. He's a really funny dude. But
Righteous
a couple characters
Gemstones?
from that. Me and my girlfriend are dressing up as a couple characters from that.
Yeah, but are we going to know what we're looking at tomorrow when you're on camera?
Some people might, and they will appreciate it. But if you don't know the Righteous Gemstones, we're going as BJ and Judy. If you want to look that up, it's one of like the first pictures that comes up.
Okay, the Righteous Gemstones. Do I know any of these people? No, don't.
You don't know
Danny
John
Mc-
Goodman? John Goodman's in it.
Oh, I know John Goodman.
Okay, there you go.
I don't think I know anybody else in this entire.
I'm surprised you
cast.
don't know Danny McBride. Danny McBride's the other person that I
Nope,
feel you'd recognize.
I do not know Danny McBride. He looks like he plays.
You ever
an
seen
evil
it? You ever
character,
seen
though.
Pitch Perfect? You seem like a Pitch Perfect guy.
Yeah.
Adam Devine's in it,
Oh, okay.
so
Yeah.
he was in Pitch Perfect. So, he's
So there
in
you
the
go.
show.
So tomorrow you can sit there and look as we stream on X and on YouTube tomorrow at WI Sports Radio and talk about our costumes that we wear. I've worn that before, the Care Bear costume. I was the blue one. Kay was the pink one. And then Jackson, when he was a little kid, like, I don't know, 2 years old, whatever, he wore the purple one. And then we went trick-or-treating through the neighborhood. Did your dad ever dress up and do trick-or-treat?
Not like full dress up. He
Yeah.
did like kind of the lame dad costumes.
Yeah,
you know,
so, like,
putting Smarties on the pants and stuff.
Years
Smarty
ago,
pants.
I did Batman with my 18-year-old. He was Robin. That was really fun. People were coming up, taking pictures with me, walking, doing trick-or-treating. It was wild. So it was a cool costume, though. So Batman.
World's shortest Batman.
Yes,
Is that what they're
right,
looking for?
exactly.
Yeah.
World's smallest Batman. Maybe that's why they were taking pictures. And then we did a family of ninjas. So we were all dressed up as ninjas one year. We did the Care Bears one. So I think we're going to do a family one next year because now the 3-year-old is kind of like off on her own where she can kind of do it by herself a little bit. So you don't got to worry about her falling all the time. So I think next year maybe we'll do
All right, there you
a
go.
family
Let her
costume.
pick, yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun. I like doing it. It's a lot of fun. All right, let's hear from our guy, Jeff Hafley, Packers defensive coordinator. And like Matt LaFleur, I will interrupt and interject as I feel as we go through this thing.
We were talking about Micah earlier, and he called Colby Wooden the general.
The general.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're. Anyways, how has the general been a big factor in your run defense?
I love the general.
What's your run defense?
Did he tell you why he called him the general?
Yes.
What'd he say? I'd love to hear his explanation.
He said Vio gave it to him because the general is the heart of the run defense as the nose.
There's no doubt. And
Who's the general of Wisconsin Sports Radio Network? Because he said it's the heart. He said it's the heart
of the run defense specifically, though. So that changes.
Right. Well, we don't have run defense. I don't know what that would transition over to.
You know, the heart of the dirty workers. So I think that's more like the producers. I think it's Tommy.
I agree. That was the first name I came to.
I think Tommy's the general.
Tommy's the general. Yeah, I totally agree. Tommy Wirtz for sure. Catch him 5:00 Wisconsin Sports Wrap Up. He's definitely the general. Yeah. Moving on.
I think it's bigger than that. I mean, if you guys have been around him, right? He's got this energizing presence and personality, and it's upbeat. And
stop. If upbeat has to be part of this, I don't know if I'm there with Tommy anymore. Maybe you're the general then. If we're talking
Tommy's
about
kind of
positive,
upbeat,
upbeat personality, I don't know. Maybe he's not the general.
Fair enough. You know, Tommy's
maybe you're the general.
Tommy's a little too handsome to be the general. So Tommy's more of an edge rusher. Tommy's more of the Micah Parsons. You know, I think that's what we got to go with.
He's who?
Michael Parsons.
He's good. Did you
He's
say
the assassin? You know,
he's
that's
good looking and athletic and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna turn my microphone off.
How hard he plays and the role that he's, all of a sudden himself finds him in. He's just this relentless guy who always has a smile on his face that you kind of want to follow him, and it's good to have guys like that. And it's cool to hear a Micah Parsons, compliment his teammates like he often has been doing and giving a guy like that a nickname, but he's earned it. I'm proud of the way that he's played. I love being around him. I mean,
okay. So somebody that the guys follow. Now you're in that producer / host room or whatever we call it around here. So is Tommy kind of like the guy that everybody wants to talk to and everybody migrates to in that room? I kind of feel like he is.
I would say so. Yeah, Tommy's kind of the liaison.
He's the guy that everybody wants to talk to.
He's all around talking to everybody, kind of moving around. Yeah.
All right, so maybe he is the general. The good-looking part. I'm still moving.
This is going to be stuck on your mind for the whole presser, isn't it?
Just trying to figure it out. I'm moving on.
It's been great.
Since you first got here last spring, how have you seen Kobe Wooden progress? I mean, we can see physically how much he's bulked up. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, it's everything. It's his opportunity, right? He's playing a lot more. It's his fundamentals, it's technique. I think Vo and DeMarcus and Wendell have done a great job with him. And it's just how hard he's worked. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten stronger. He's getting really good in the run game. And he's got confidence. And I think that's so important for all of our players, which is hard nowadays, right? I mean, everybody seems to ride these roller coasters, and he's just a confident guy now, and his teammates believe in him. He believes in himself. We believe in him. And I think that's huge. And I think he's like an energy giver. I think that's the best way that I could explain the guy. And like I said, I'm just proud of him. I think he's going to get better and better as he goes. And because he's still a young player who doesn't have a whole lot of experience. But I'm excited to see what he can do.
What does it mean for your defense and your line, especially to have Devontae back on the field?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, from a lot of ways. If you watched early in the game and you just watched him run to the ball and how physical he was, even down the field. I'm not just talking about like point of attack. He's taking on double teams. He's making negative plays. His pass rush. He's pushing the pocket. Watch him run to the ball and watch him hit people down the field. I mean, whether it's chasing down a screen or chasing down a ball carrier or a receiver standing around the pile and he just, knocks a big guy over. He's just got a ton of energy and he's strong and he's a dog. I mean, and that's what he brings. He brings that attitude to the interior of the D line. I think guys like rushing with him, and we certainly like him in the run game. And, I don't know if he was 100% because you could kind of see him working his way back into it. But I thought he played pretty well in his return. We missed him, and I think he'll get better as he goes, and he feels more comfortable.
Stop right there. We were talking about earlier about giving extensions, right? About Tucker Kraft has to get an extension after this year. People assume Quay Walker's going to get an extension done. That's been the talk for months. They were going to get an extension done with Quay Walker. That's why they picked up Devontae Wyatt's fifth-year option. Don't you have to sign this cat to a long-term deal too, if we're being honest? Hasn't he proven he's a key cog in this line going forward without Kenny Clark? Doesn't Devontae Wyatt have to get paid? And if you do pay Devontae Wyatt, think about this for a second. You had 2 first-round picks that year, and Walker and Wyatt both are going to get extensions past their rookie contract. That's a damn good draft. I don't care what the rest of the draft looks like. That's a really good draft.
I don't know. I think the Packers are going to have to look at those two players in Devontae Wyatt and Quay Walker and say, what's more important to our defense right now? A linebacker 2 or a nose tackle? And I think both those positions are relatively expendable in today's NFL at this point. You have players that can kind of fill in wherever necessary. It's nice to have a really good player at both of those positions. I think both players, if you are a really good player at that position, can earn a pretty big payday compared to other guys that play that position. But that's also because there's not a lot of guys that do it at an elite level. So you can just kind of rotate more mediocre level players for cheaper. So we'll see. I think one of those dudes will get an extension. I don't think both of them get a full-time extension.
Can we quickly talk about the 22 draft class, please?
Sure, yeah.
So Quay Walker could get an extension. He was the first one. Then Devontae Wyatt. He might get an extension. Then Christian Watson. Then Sean Ryan. Then Romeo Dobbs. Then Zach Tom. Holy hell, dude. Like, that is unbelievable.
Half your team. Half your starters.
After Zach Tom, Kingsley Enagbare. That worked out pretty good, right? He don't suck. Tariq Carpenter, okay. Jonathan Ford, okay. Rasheed Walker's in that draft.
Yeah.
And then Samari Toure, who's still hopping around somewhere in the league. But that's crazy. You got a starting left tackle, a starting middle linebacker, a starting defensive lineman, a starting wide receiver. Ryan has been a starting offensive lineman. So 2 starting wide receivers. Let's see, 3 starting offensive linemen. 3/5 of that line, Ryan, Walker, and Tom, were from the 22 draft class. And you all want to grip on Goody for not being able to draft. That is unbelievable, that draft class.
Well, and not only that, but all those guys that we named for the most part, besides the guys that just were never really a part of the team, you could realistically get something out of in the end if you don't keep them on your team. I think Sean Ryan is a name people are floating around on the trade market right now.
Yeah.
And Enagbare is a guy that's floating around
Sean
the trade
Ryan.
market.
They don't have enough offensive line to trade
won't.
anybody from the line.
I'm just saying it's pretty cool that you could, if you wanted to, that you're probably going to end up letting him walk at the offseason here. But at the same time, it's cool to know that these guys have played a valuable role in your team and have value at the end of the day, even if you don't trade them and just let them walk.
And you're a playoff team. This wasn't 3 guys starting on a 4-win team for 3 years. These are 3 guys starting on a team that was going to the playoffs every year. I mean,
It's really cool.
That's a great draft, 22. Like, nobody talks about it, but that's unbelievable.
And we got people talking about Ryan Clark, guys like that, saying that you would rather get drafted by the Lions than any other team in the country. Come on. I'd much rather be drafted by the Packers.
I mean, my guess is he's friends with Dan Campbell. I don't know that to be true.
Or just hates the Packers, because I feel like he never talks good about the Packers. He's one of those people that aren't positive about the Packers.
Right. We talked about earlier how Packers have stands where they're always defending their guys. Now, I don't include James Jones as a stand because, obviously, he played for the Packers. He is what he was. Jennings as a guy, when Rodgers was there, was always kind of anti-Packers. Now that seemingly has changed a little bit now that Rodgers is out of there. At that Bengals game, he was one of the alumni that got introduced. And I'm in my seats going, well, this ought to be interesting. And they all cheered him. Like, I don't think he had any boos whatsoever. You knew that 5 years ago, he gets booed out of the stadium. Well, so I think people have moved on Greg Jennings too.
I feel like people kind of forgot about that with Greg Jennings now. He's at that point in his career where he's a player who is for that time kind of a legend. So people just kind of recognize him for that, not really what he actually did.
It's all about what he said on TV and everything else, all the hocus pocus that what he was saying after, and family members after he left about Rodgers. That's what that was all about. All right, moving on.
Michael also has 3 fourth quarter sacks this year. And when I asked him about it, he explained it was more situational, but he does seem to play really good in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Do you see that as well? What do you attribute that to?
Well, I think he plays good in all quarters. And I'm not saying that to take a shot at your question, because I think your question is valid. I mean, I attribute it to this. I mean, if you watch Major League Baseball and the closer comes in at the end of the game and he's got to get 3 outs, that's his job. When it's the 4th quarter and we need a stop, a 2-minute stop, or we need a sack, Micah Parsons is our closer, and he's going to get the 3 outs. And I think he takes a lot of pride in that, and that's how he's built. And I think at the end of the game, when people start to get tired and he's putting his hand in the ground or he's coming up the middle or wherever we put him, he's just got a relentless motor, and he knows it's his job to close out the game. So I think that comes from here, and he's a great player.
Do you think, to follow up real quick, a lot of guys will get fatigued. Is mentally, though, can you be even sharper because you've seen everything at that point, too? He knows everything that he expected is really playing out in real time as well. So you could be mentally sharper, even if you're physically tired.
Yes, and that's a good point. And I think what he does throughout the course of the game, which we also have to do.
1 second. Let's stop this. Brian Gutekunst was on earlier. It's at Wisconsin Sports. So here at 5 o'clock. Do you know what would have been a good question,
What's
Brian
that?
Gutekunst? Where's your favorite place to eat in Athens, Georgia? Just curious.
Yeah.
Favorite place.
Just he hangs out there every other weekend, it feels like.
He drafts out of Georgia. Like I would assume he's got like a permanent apartment somewhere down there near the facility.
Probably hang out with Kirby Smart, maybe roommates.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying it's out. I mean, Bullard hasn't been, Pro Bowl level or anything like that.
He's been good this
but
season.
He's been good enough to stay on the field and do what he does. And even though when they drafted him as safety, they all kind of knew probably he wasn't going to be that Evan Williams might be that guy, but it's worked out for him. It really has. All right, moving on.
People don't protect against us like what we see on tape. There's like a Micah Parsons plan every week.
Of course.
And it's actually making us become better coaches because we're constantly thinking about, all right, how has Micah been protected against? How are they going to protect him against this week? We go into a game with a plan, we see it, and we have to adjust, right? And he sees it and he hears it, and there's constant communication about it. And as we get going and we see that, I think it helps us out a lot mentally, right? I also think you have a guy that in those 2-minute situations, I mean, it's rush after rush after rush. You can't think about breathing at that point. You got to put your hand in the ground and do it again. And he just has that inside of him. And it's been really cool to see. But the mental part with Micah, I think, is one of the things that's hidden. Everybody sees this great physical player, but he is on it now when it comes to protections and what's going on. And that absolutely helps us later in the games.
Jeff, on the opposite side of that, with Rashawn on the other side of the line, I should say, what have you thought of just the start he's off to? Because I think it's already 7.5 sacks. It's tying what he had last year. His quarterback hits are right there too. Just kind of the groove that he's been on during the first half.
Yeah, it's been great. And the thing I said to him, I think it was
Better give
Tuesday
credit to
morning
Michael
or Wednesday,
Parsons in
whenever our
this
first day
answer.
back was, I'm just so impressed with how he's playing the run game. I mean, he's setting edges. He's getting off blocks. He's not just rushing up the field.
Mhm. That's
He's
good.
physical. He's tackling. I think he's becoming a complete player. And what he's doing is he's taking advantage of his opportunities and he's winning his one-on-ones. He got the sack fumble last week and he's finishing. And I'm proud of him. And I think it all stems back from the hard work that he's put in
And Micah.
from OTAs to training camp to now, and how hard he's working on the practice field. And I still think his best football is ahead of him. So
I'm done. Turn it off.
What do you mean you're done?
I'm done. We're not playing anymore. Listen, the very first thing out of his mouth, Jeff Havley's mouth, should have been, hey, man, it's the Micah Parsons effect on everybody. He's not seeing nearly as many double teams as he's seen in the past. So he's getting more one-on-one matchups. He's winning those one-on-one matchups, and he's starting to finish as well. But it should have started there. The run defense aspect, that has nothing to do with Micah. That is all completely Rashawn Gary, right? So he deserves credit solely there. But I would assume Rashawn Gary would agree with me and be like, hell yeah, it's Micah. I'm not getting double teamed nearly as much maybe as I was before. And now I can show everybody what I can do. But hey, I mean, you know this. When you're getting double teamed as a defensive lineman, it takes a special type of dude to consistently break double teams to get into the backfield to do something.
It does, and it is definitely a struggle when you're doing that consistently as well. But also, if I'm that guy, I guess I don't want my coach to go out to the media and blast me essentially for that and say, "Hey, look, he needed a better guy to help him out and take that attention away because he just wasn't.
Stop.
He wasn't good."
He's not stupid. He knows how good Micah Parsons is.
That's what it's. Yeah, he knows that, but you have to say that as a player. Rashawn Gary doesn't want somebody to go out there and say that for him because again, that looks like that. Jeff Hafley doesn't fully believe in him.
Listen to me. This would be like somebody, and you all can get mad at me for making this comparison because I use this person's name a lot. But this is like when Reggie White shows up in Green Bay, man. You don't think he helped Santana Dotson with his job and Gilbert Brown and everybody else that was on that line? Of course he did. And he didn't just help them. He helped everybody behind him too because there's so much attention paid to a guy like that. Just like in Pittsburgh. TJ Watt has all the attention paid to him. So that helps everybody in that front seven for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's not a slam on any of these guys. But when you got a special player on defense, yes, you tell everybody, yeah, I mean, we know what's going on. People are paying attention to him. It's freeing up some of our other guys to get one-on-ones versus constant double teams, and they're winning their one-on-ones.
No, you
That's
don't.
Not a slam.
You do not say that as a coach Ever. You do not go out there and say that, because it does sound like a slam to your players. When you go out there and say, yeah, our guys suck, so we had to go out and get Micah Parsons. That's what it sounds. I'm telling you, that is what it.
There's less.
I am telling you, that is what it sounds like to the players when a coach were to go out there and say that to the media. That is exactly how those guys would have taken that, because that's what it sounds like. They know Micah Parsons is that guy. You don't have to go out there and say that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows Micah Parsons is out here giving them their effect.
Charlie,
you want to give your guys confidence on the defense side of the ball, and if you're going to go out there and praise somebody, it should be the player that the question was asked about.
Yes, that's fine. That's fair. Maybe you don't answer it in that way, one way or the other. But I would hope Rashawn Gary then brings it up himself when he says,
yeah, he can say that.
Man,
again, you don't want Jeff Hafley to say that for you.
You got 12 and a half sacks this year. Rashawn Gary better say, hey, man, having Micah Parsons out here helps me a lot. I'm going to have many double teams to deal with. And now I can beat dudes one-on-one. Like, all I'm saying is there better not just be oh, wow, Rashawn Gary's improved so much. Yeah, he may have improved against the run. That's great. But reality is the reason you're able to get 7.5 sacks at this point is because you're not dealing with as much garbage up front like you used to. Because before, you were the guy that they were making sure didn't beat him to get to the quarterback. Now they don't got to worry about that. And if Hafley ever decides to blitz, and again, it goes back to not trusting corners, but if you ever decide to blitz with Edgerrin Cooper and Quay Walker more consistently, you're 22nd in the league in blitzes. If you ever get after him that more, he's really going to have more opportunities because there even less people are going to be paying attention to Rashawn Gary. So again, you have to be happy with Rashawn Gary. This was a guy that when they got Micah Parsons, you looked at Rashawn Gary and go, you better get double-digit sacks now because you're going to have more opportunities to go do it. And he's on pace for what, 15, 16 sacks right now at 7.5?
It's a good look.
Damn,
He's looking pretty good. You have to give him his credit, man.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That's what Jeff Hafley's doing. If the question was about Rashawn Gary, it should be about Rashawn Gary.
Bucks and Golden State tonight. When the Bucks win, you win at Wendy's. After every Bucks win, stop by any participating Wisconsin Wendy's for a free small vanilla or chocolate frosty classic. No purchase necessary. This offer is only good for 24 hours after a win, so act fast. Get that free small frosty classic at Wendy's. It's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's, live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. This Wisconsin Sports Daily served up by Wendy's live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Sparky here. Charlie using other side of the glass. Thanks to all of our fine affiliates along the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, Green Bay and Appleton on WNFL 99.7 FM, Wausau 93.9 The Game, Duluth Superior 710 The Game, and Milwaukee 1250 AM and 105.7 FM The Fan. Thanks for tuning us in. Coming up here in about 12 minutes or so, we will hear from our guy Tommy Wirtz as he gets ready. And Tommy's got a microphone over there. I'm going to turn Tommy's microphone on. So while Jeff Hafley was playing, I don't know how much you heard or didn't hear, they were talking about the fact that Colby Wooden apparently is nicknamed the General on the Green Bay Packers defense.
Okay.
And Charlie and I had a conversation about whether or not that person exists on our staff of who could be called the General. And Charlie and I determined that you should be called the General of our staff, a guy that people rally around and follow, positive, upbeat. Charlie dropped in this good looking part about it with you, which was weird.
If I was a general, I'd be General Custer at this point. Okay. That's for all you history nerds out there. I'm pretty sure that's the guy who surrendered in the Civil War, but I'll take it. I mean, I've been called worse, the General. Yeah. If we're going on military rank, though, like Sparky, it's like hands down you. It's not even close.
No. Because like Charlie was saying, Colby Wooden's the guy that gets down and dirty and is the leader and that type of stuff. So Charlie's
like, the General doesn't. That's like the private.
Charlie's like, it's got to be.
Napoleon,
shut up. Charlie's like, Charlie's like, it's got to be a producer based on the description they gave of Colby Wooden.
You said the heart of the run defense.
Heart of the run defense, right?
Okay. I'd rather be called the heart of the run defense than the General. I feel like the heart of the run defense is a great nickname.
So you like that?
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Did you see the Javon Hargrave Gravedigger tweet that was put out by Minnesota?
People were mad about it, Packers fans.
No, what?
No, they called Javon Hargrave the Gravedigger, and they like put it out, and Packer Twitter is losing their mind over that.
Has Gilbert got involved yet? Gilbert Brown?
Not yet. I think we got to ask him.
Yeah, you got to send him a text.
I
see
could
if
get
he
Gilbert Brown on.
Yeah, send him a text. See if how he reacted to that.
I wonder if he saw it. He may not have saw it.
Yeah,
Can't imagine he's on social media all that much, but. Yeah, I'll have to find out.
Just saying, that was big on Packer Twitter the last couple of days.
Really? I did not see it come across my timeline at all.
Yeah, calling Javon Hargrave the Gravedigger.
That's okay. Nobody hates purple more than Gilbert Brown, I promise you. Like, as much as Mitch Thundernellis loves purple, Gilbert Brown hates the color purple.
We should go as
not even close.
We should go as crayons next year, so Mitch could just be the purple crayon, and then we could all be like.
Sparky would be red because he wears a lot of those red polos and stuff.
I do,
and he gets
Badger
angry.
polos and stuff. Yeah, my face turns red when I yell.
Exactly.
Do you know what else has happened quickly? We're not really doing sports talk anymore. We're just talking. Rami Makloff, when he worked with me the first time prior to coming back to be a part of the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network, was a really happy dude. And
he still is happy.
Now I listen to that show. He yells more than anybody on that 9 to noon show with John Kuhn.
You know why that is?
He is angry.
He is the oldest person on his show for the first time ever.
His grandpa.
He said.
Oh, is that the issue?
That's why, right? Now it all adds up.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I guess I didn't put two.
Who
and two
yells
together.
the most on the Mason Crosby show? Mitch Nellis.
Yeah.
Who yells the most on this show? Sparky Fifer.
For sure. Yeah. But I've always yelled the most. I was like the youngest. Well, I was never the youngest, but I was like third youngest when I did the show with Gary Ellerson and Leroy Butler for so long.
Third youngest? Isn't that like damn near the oldest on the show?
Why you gotta get so detail oriented for? There's no reason to be so specific.
I love when
how many people working on this show, my
there
guy?
was 5.
Okay, all right. Well, that's
a lot of people on one show.
Right in the middle. Right in the middle.
That's why they called it the Big Show back in the day, because there were a lot of people working on that show.
Youngest.
Yeah, third youngest.
It's not big.
Could add up Charlie's age twice.
Shut up. All right, so we got Bucks and Gold State coming up here tonight. I got a couple of minutes left. Playing Gold State do anything for you anymore? I mean, back in the day, it meant a lot, right? You have Draymond, Clay, Steph, Durant. Like, it was a big deal. I don't know. I don't seemingly get as fired up as maybe I did prior when those guys came into town, because it was a star-studded lineup, and it's a nice roster, right? They're going to win.
Still competitive team.
They'll be a playoff
It is
team.
the 3 most tenured one-team players going at it too. So, Steph Curry, this is 17th year on the Warriors.
He should have been a Buck.
But we got Monte Ellis. Like, he was awesome. Yeah. So, that was awesome. And Draymond Green, 14 years. Giannis, 13 years. So,
and Jimmy Butler's on the Warriors, so that makes it a fun game too.
I hate Jimmy Butler.
I know you do.
I just cannot
That's why I brought it up.
stand Jimmy Butler.
My gosh.
All right, that'll do it for today's Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. Tommy Wirtz coming up next. Wisconsin Sports Wrap-Up from 5 until 6. And we've been broadcasting live from the Wisconsin Sports Radio Network studios, powered by the Potawatomi Sportsbook. Looking forward to a Football Friday tomorrow. Ryan Wood of the Green Bay Press Gazette at 2:48. Plus, we'll do Fantasy Football Friday with Joe Bartel of RotoWire at 4:20. Before that, Panthers beat writer from the Charlotte Observer. We'll talk with him at 4 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Tommy Wirtz straight ahead. Toodles.